Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurions Review, the punk rock band of wargame review institutions. This is the Chronicles of Davus, episode number 4. In the last episode, Davus and his party were out looking for a dungeon, and on the way, they went by a set of ruins, and they were ambushed by some pygmy orcs. The pygmy orcs got the better of them and took them prisoner. They saw that the pygmy orcs killed the drow and then ate them, so they knew they were on the list, at least for the next day, probably to be eaten. So they made a deal with a Sasquatch to help them escape from there, and they killed all the pygmy orcs. And they made their way to the dungeon entrance, which is here. Encountered a gibbering mouther there, and after a tough fight, they're able to take out the mouther. So the Sasquatch says that he's not going any further. He believes there's a bad smell coming from the dungeon there, and he's not into an adventuring, so he just leaves. They thank him for helping them, and he goes home. Let me introduce you to the characters now. Davus is right here. Davus is 18 years old, and he's a fighter level 2, neutral good alignment, and he's always polite and respectful, and his ideal is live and let live, and he fights for those who can't fight for themselves, and he'd rather eat his armor than admit he's wrong. He's armed with a two-handed greatsword, and he has a light crossbow, and he has a ring of resistance to poison. He's got great weapons fighting, so he re-rolls 1 or 2s on damage dice if using a two-handed or versatile weapon. Here's Jorg Lang. Jorg Lang is not a regular character. He's kind of like a civilian, kind of like an NPC, but I gave him better stats, and unlike a regular NPC, he can level up, but he doesn't get special abilities when he levels up. He gets more hit points when he levels up, and whenever Davus levels up, if Davus gets an increase to one of his stats, these guys will get an increase to it too. But what's interesting about him, he's a grave digger. He's armed with a shovel. He's kind of a slippery guy. They didn't really trust him at first, but he's proven to be trustworthy. But he's the kind of person, when you first meet him, he seems kind of slimy, but he's good in the fight. This is Rudolph Brown here. He is armed with a pitchfork and a torch. He's a civilian just like Jorg Lang. He's got 2 attacks. He attacks with his pitchfork, and then after that he can do a kick, and if the kick hits, it does 2 bludgeoning damage. He's got quite a bit of hit points for a civilian, and he's good in the fight too. Here's Maggie, who is Davus's trusty dog. Maggie can level up, unlike a regular wolf. Other than that, she's pretty much got Mastiff stats. Her bite is a +3 to hit, and she does 2d6 +1 damage, but she's got an advantage on perception rolls that involve smelling or hearing, since she's a dog. And here is an elf scout they met on the way. He's got a multi-attack where he can attack with either a short sword or a spear twice per turn. And he's got keen hearing and sight. So now they've decided they're going to enter into the dungeon. They've gone down a stairwell here, and they've entered a corridor into the dungeon. They look around, it indeed does smell. He finds nothing while he's in there. So now they decide they're going to move on further into the dungeon. And they roll a wandering monster check. No wandering monsters. Now they've gone a little further here, and they see a door. So RB walks up to the door, and they follow behind him. And he rolls a perception check. He's kind of nervous. He wants to see if he can hear anything or smell anything. So he doesn't hear anything or smell anything. So Davus tells him to check the handle to see if the door opens, and the door is unlocked. They see all that's in the room is just a rug. I'm going to roll a perception check for the whole party. They don't think anything's out of the ordinary. So RB moves into here and takes a look at the rug. The rug starts moving, and we're going to see if it gets surprise on RB. Yes, it does. So the rug is going to go first. The rug, all of a sudden, you see some tentacles come out of it and stuff, and you're pretty sure it isn't a rug. It's something that makes itself look like a rug. All right, so one of his tentacles strikes out at RB. So he rolls a 12, but he's got a +5 to hit, so that's a 17. Let me check RB's stats. Yeah, that hits RB. So it'll do 1d8 +3 damage to him. So it does 11 damage to RB. Hits RB, its tentacle ends up sticking to him. It's like adhesive or something. So now RB is grappled. We're going to do the initiative now. I'll roll that off camera and start up the fight. So the initiative order is Maggie, then RB, then the elf, then JL, and then the rug. So Maggie is horrified that this rug is attacking RB. She likes RB, so she gets in there and tries biting the rug. She's got a +3 to hit. So 16 +3 is 19. That hits. And she does D6 +1 piercing. So she does a total of 2 damage to the rug. And it's got a save on a DC 11, or it's knocked prone. Strength save, that is. Yeah, so he's fine. He's not really knocked prone. Alright, so RB goes now. He's grappled. Grappling sets his speed to 0, but he can still fight, so he's going to attack the rug. He gets a 13, which is enough to hit it. And that's with his pitchfork, so that's a 1d8 +2 piercing. So that does 6 damage to the rug, and then he's going to try and kick it. Kick misses. After this, it's the Elf Scout. The Elf Scout moves up. He's got a long spear, so he can stick his spear between there and attack. He's got multi-attack, so first attack is a 10, which is, a 12, which is good enough to hit him. So that's 1d6 +2 piercing. Does 6 damage. Now he does his other attack on the rug. That's definitely a hit. That was a 22. And that does 5 damage to it. It's Davus's turn now, but he can't get in there. Or it's JL's turn, actually. He can't get in there. There's not enough room. And then it's Davus, and then it's the rug. So the rug's going to go again. It's going to try and bite RB now. So it gets a total of 13. Is that enough to hit RB? Yes, it is. And a bite will do 1d8 +3 damage. So that does 11 more damage to RB. He's down to 2 hit points. This is not looking good for him. Alright, so let's go to the top of the order. Alright, so Maggie's going to go now. And she's got a +3 to hit. She gets a 22 total. And does 5 damage to the rug. Now it has to save on with a DC 11 or be knocked prone. Yes, it does save. Alright, after Maggie, it's RB. He needs to do something here. He's going to attack with his pitchfork, and that's going to miss. Now he's going to attack with his kick. And his kick hits, which automatically does 2 damage to it. And it's the Elf Scout now. He's got 2 attacks. First one hits and does 3 damage. Second one hits and does 5 damage. And JL can't make it in there to fight, and neither can Davus. So now it's the rug. The rug, we're going to see if he's going to attack RB or Maggie. He attacks Maggie. He's going to use a pseudopod. So that's a +5 to hit. That misses. Alright, so it's the top of the order again. And Maggie's going to go. She misses. Now it's RB. Using his pitchfork. That's a hit. And that does 8 damage. Now he's going to kick it. Kick misses. Elf Scout is up now. He's going to attack with his long spear there. That's a 9, which is not good enough. Here's his second attack. Or excuse me, no, that was an 11. His second attack is a 13, which is good enough, so it does 1d8 +2. It does 7 damage. JL can't go and Davus can't go because there's no room there. So now the rug goes. He is going to attack Maggie again. That's a hit. And that will do 1d8 plus 3 damage to Maggie. So it does 6 damage. So she's down to 9 hit points. And now she goes. She's pissed. That's a hit. Does only 2 damage though. But it has to save or be knocked prone. It's fine, it's saved. Alright, now RB will go. He's going to attack with his pitchfork. He rolled a 9, but he's got a +4, so that's a 13. That's enough to hit. So that'll be 1d8 plus 2. So 9 damage, and the rug is destroyed. If you're wondering what it was actually a mimic that was imitating a rug. They're going to roll now to see if they find what treasure they find in the room. So they find gold, and it's 100 gold pieces. And they get 450 experience points for the party. It'll be divided up between them. So now they're going to roll a wandering monster check. No wandering monsters. They make it down to here. And before they do anything, they're going to take a short 15-minute rest. RB spent 2 hit dice and got 10 more hit points back, so he's at 12. His max is 24, so he might take a potion. Maggie's going to roll her hit dice too. Hers is a d6. d6 plus 1, so she gets 3 hit points back. So she's at 12. RB has 1 potion healing, so it's a 2d4 plus 2. It does 3, 6 plus 8, so he's up to speed now. Alright, so they get here, and let me add the rest of the dungeon here. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is roll a wandering monster check. And there are wandering monsters. The wandering monsters are a whole lot of giant rats. Let's roll for initiative. The initiative order is going to be Davus, then Maggie, then RB, then the rats, then JL, and then the elf. You've probably noticed that I don't redo the initiative each combat round. It just slows down the game, so I've house ruled that you only do the initiative at the beginning of the combat. So Davus is first. He moves to there, and he's going to attack with his greatsword, which is a +5. So that's a 15, which is enough to hit a rat. He's going to do d10 plus 3 damage to it. So that's 8 damage, so he kills this rat right here. Next is Maggie. She just moves over here after this one. And that's a hit. She does 2 damage, and it has to do a dexterity check in order to avoid being knocked prone. It's knocked prone. So he has 5 damage left, and we know he's prone. Alright, after Maggie, it's RB. He's going to move over here, and he's going to use this pitchfork. That's a 13, that's enough to hit. And 1d8 plus 2 piercing, 10, so he kills this one. He had enough movement left to move right here, and he's going to try and kick that one. His kick misses. Now it's the rats. This should be interesting. That one there is going to go, and they have a +4 to hit, and he's attacking Davus. There's actually another one here, which is within 5 feet of Davus, so he gets pack tactics, so he's going to roll with an advantage. So he gets 14, is his highest, not good enough to hit him. This one's going to go now. His highest is a 16, that hits. And he does 1d4 plus 2 piercing damage. So he does 3 damage to Davus. So he's down to 19. Alright, this rat here will just move through that one here. And it's going to roll with advantage. He gets a crit. So he's going to do 2d4 plus 2. So he does 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. Wow. And this one will... Well, he can't make it through there. He's going to have to go here and attack RB. He doesn't get advantage, but he does hit. And does 4 damage to RB, so RB is down, or not RB, I mean JL. JL is down to 13 hit points. And we have another one here, and the only one that can attack is JL. But he's got pack tactics since there's another one there. So that's a hit. And it does 3 damage to JL. Alright. After the rats, it's JL. He's going to attack that one with a shovel. It's a +4 to hit. So that's a hit. And 2d4. He's going to do d4 plus 2 bludgeoning plus 2 slashing. So he does a total of 5 damage to it. So that one has 2 hit points left. After him, the elf goes. Elf will move right in there. And he's going to attack that one with his first attack. And that's a hit. I believe that's a hit. Let me check. Yeah, that's a hit. And he kills this rat. And then moves forward and attacks this one. That's going to be a hit too. And he does 6 damage to that one, so that one only has 1 life left. Alright, so we go back to the top of the order, and Davus is up now. So he's going to attack this one. And that's a hit. It does 1d10 plus 3. It only does 5 damage to that, so it's got 2 left. Oh wait, I get to reroll that because it's a damage dice, and I have great weapon fighting, so I rolled a 2, so I get to roll it again. So it actually does 11 damage, so that one's dead. Alright, after Davus, it's Maggie. She's going to attack the rat over there. And she hits. And does 5 damage, which is exactly enough needed to kill that rat. And she moves forward here next to RB. Now RB is up. He moves forward with his pitchfork. And that's not good. He misses, but he's still got the kick. The kick hits and does 2 damage, so that rat is down to 5. Now the rats go. We're going to start over here. This one's going to attack Davus with advantage because he's got pack tactics and his buddies adjacent to him. So that's a 15, which is not good enough. Now this one will go, he's got pack tactics 2. He does hit. So he does 1d4 plus 2. So he does 6 damage to Davus. So Davus is down to 5. Alright, and you have one here, and he's going to choose to attack JL. So he rolls a dice, he gets a crit. So that's 2, 6, 8 damage to JL. So JL is down to 2, not looking good for him. Now we move up to this part of the battlefield. And this rat here comes in and attacks Maggie. And that's going to be a hit. And he does 3 damage to her. So she's down to 12. And then this one here is going to attack RB. He's going to get pack tactics since that one moved in there. So that's a 15. Is that enough to get him? Yes, it is. So that's going to do 4 damage to him. So he's down to 20. And these just filter behind here. Now back to the top of the order, Davus is going to go. He's going to attack this one right here. And that's a hit. And does 12 damage, so that one's killed. Now Maggie is up. She's going to attack a rat right there. And hits. And does 3 damage to it, so that one's down to 4. Now RB is going to go. See if he hits. He hits. And he does 8 damage, so he kills this one here. After RB, it's the rat, so they'll start down here. This one here is going to attack Davus. And he hits. He does 5 damage. So Davus is down. He should have done his second wind. I forgot to do that. Alright, you got one more rat here. Let's see who he's going to attack. He's going to attack the elf. And that hits. And does 3 damage to the elf. So the elf is down to 13. And then we go up here. We got a rat who's going to attack Maggie. And he misses. I think he missed. Let me check that. No, that's a hit. 6 damage to her, so she's down to 6. Not good. And then you have one here who's going to attack RB. The rest will just filter in. And that's going to be with advantage. So that's a hit. And it does 3 damage to him, so he's down to 17. Now JL is up. He's going to attack that rat right there. That's a miss. Now the elf goes. He's going to attack that rat. Miss. That one hits. And when it does 3 damage, which is enough to kill that because it was down to 1. Alright, so let's go up here. So Davus is up, so he's going to have to do a death save now. Passes his death save. First one at least. And after him, it's Maggie, who's going to attack over here. And that's going to be a miss. Now RB is going to go. That misses, but he's going to do his kick, and which misses too. Interesting. Now it's the rats. So this one here is going to attack the elf. And hits. And does 6 damage to the elf. So the elf is down to 7. Up here, one's going to attack Maggie. And I think that's good enough. Yeah, total of 13. Yeah. Does 6 damage to her. So Maggie is down too. Not looking good for our heroes. And then you got one there who's going to attack RB. And that hits. I mean, wow, these things can't miss. Does 4 damage to RB. So he's down to 13. And it goes to the top of the order. Or not the top of the order, it goes to JL now. JL is going to attack this rat right here. And hits. Does a total of 7 damage and kills it. And now he's going to start hitting this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's the elf's turn, and he goes there, and he pours one of Davus's potions into his mouth, which will give Davus 2d4 plus 2 hit points back. So that's 2, 3, so he gets 5 hit points back. So Davus is at 5, but he's up and awake. Alright, now to the top of the order, it's Davus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he'll do a second move. He's going to move into the place where Maggie was. And he's going to attack that rat. Or he can't because he used his second action as a move. Alright, so then it's Maggie. She has to do a death save. She fails. She's got 2 more to do. Alright, so Davus is... Davus, I forgot on his turn, he could do a second wind as, I believe, a free action. Yeah, as a bonus action, so he's going to do that. So he'll do 1d10 plus 2. So he gets 8 hit points back, so he's at 13. Alright. So now it's RB's turn. He's going to attack that one. And misses. Now he did his kick hit, which did 2 damage to this one, so it's down to 5. Now the rats go. Got one rat there who's going to attack Davus. And he misses. And then you have one rat that's going to attack RB, and he hits. And does 3 damage to RB. So he's down to 10. Alright, so now JL is up. He's going to move right into there. He can, I believe he can attack Kitty. He's going to allow him to attack Kitty Corner across there. And he misses. Wow. Not good. Now the elf is up. So as a second action, well, he can't disengage. He'll get a swipe at him, so the elf's just going to go now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he just gets up to there. So now Davus is up. And that's a 10, which is not good enough. Then Maggie does a death save. She saves. And RB will go now. He missed again. This is ridiculous. Now the rats are going to go. One against Davus hits, and the one against RB missed. So the one against Davus does 3 damage. Alright, so JL will go now. He's going to attack that one with a shovel. I got to throw this dice out. He just missed again. So then he should have took the disengage action. Elf can't do anything, so now it's back up to Davus. And he fails. So Maggie does a death save and passes. Now RB goes. Gets a 12, so that hits. And only does 3 damage, so that's down to 2. Alright, now he attacks with his kick. His kick misses. And the rats go. One attacks Davus and misses, and one attacks RB and hits. And does 4 damage to RB's down to 6. So now JL will go. Let's see if he can hit something for once. Now he rolls a 1. This is unbelievable. Alright, so it's back up to Davus. He hits. Does 6 damage. So this one is destroyed. And then he moves forward into this rat. No, he's not going to move forward. He's just going to wait there. So Maggie does another death save and passes. She's stable. She doesn't have to do any more death saves. Now RB is going to go. He gets a critical hit. So 16. He did a total of 18 damage, so this one's dead. Now it's the rats. One attacks Davus and misses, and one attacks RB and misses. Now JL is up, and he's going to hit that one on a diagonal there, or try to. That hits. Does a total of 6 damage, so that only has 1 hit point left. Elf can't do anything, so Davus is up. That hits. And kills this rat. Alright, like I said, Maggie's stable, so let me turn her back up. And then RB goes. Let's see if he can take out that last rat. Crit. Yeah, he gets it. So it does 2 plus 4 is 6 plus 2 is 8. So this rat is dead. They get a total of, let's see how many rats there were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think they had 13 of them. So that's 325 experience points for the party. And they're all going to do a short rest to get their hit points back, or at least some. They've actually decided they're going to do a long rest, an 8-hour rest, instead of a short rest. So they're going to move to this room here and sleep for 8 hours. They'll have one awake at all times on watch. So let me see if anything happens. First watch, nothing happens. Second watch, nothing. Third, nothing. Fourth, nothing. And fifth watch, something does come. 5 more rats. So roll to see for initiative. I'll do that off camera. Alright, so the order is going to be Maggie, Davus, the elf, then JL, and then the rats. So Maggie's pretty beat up, so she's going to move back there. And then Davus will move forward. Gets forward to there. And he's going to attack that rat. It's a hit. I gets to re-roll that because of great weapon fighting. And does 11, so this rat is dead. Now the elf will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got enough reach with his spear to get that one. First one misses. Second one's a hit. And does 4 damage to that one, so he's down to 3. Then JL will go. Just filters in back there. Oh, I forgot to add RB to the order. He comes in after JL. Alright, so the rats go now. That one's going to attack the elf. Misses. This one will attack Davus. And that's a miss. And that one can move into there and attack Davus. He's just going to filter in back here. Davus will go now and attack that one. That's a hit. Great weapon fighting, get to reroll 1, so a total of 10 damage, which kills that one. Now the elf is up, and his first attack will be against that one. That's a hit. Does 3 damage, so this one's destroyed. And then a second attack will be against that one. And that's a hit. And does 3 damage, so this is down to 4. Now JL can go move through this guy to get here and attack that rat with his shovel. That's a crit. So 1, 2 plus 4 is 6, so this one's dead. And then finally this rat gets to go and he attacks JL. And misses. So Davus is up, or Maggie is up. Either way, Maggie's not going to go. Davus will move to there to get advantage on it. And he gets a hit. And does 10 damage, so that rat is dead, and they get another 125 XP. There's no treasure on rats, so I'm not going to bother rolling for that. Party decides to start moving again and see what they can discover. So they're just going to move down to here. I'm doing a double move for all of them. And Davus comes across an interesting room here. It's got a telescope in it, a bookcase, and some chairs. So he goes in the room to see what he can find. And rolls a perception check for his search. He looks around and he finds a scroll and decides to read the scroll. He begins reading it. It's written in Celestial, which is a language that he can read, write, and speak. And he gets a sick feeling in his stomach because he realizes if he would have read this scroll out loud, everything in the room, including him, would have been destroyed. It's a fireball scroll, so he takes that for safekeeping. It's a fireball spell he can cast exactly 1 time, and then the scroll is destroyed. Tells the party about the scroll he found and tells everyone they're going to get moving and see what else they can find in this dungeon. And they roll another wandering monster check and they're fine. So they discover there's another corridor. They move down that. And for their second move, they're doing a dash. They'll move into the other corridor. And now let's see what they found. First, we got to do a wandering monster check. No wandering monsters. They come across a big room. In this room, they find that there's some barrels and some boxes and a couple beds in there. So they decide to go in and take a further look. So Davus volunteers to go first. And when he gets near the center here, he notices a piece of paper on the bed. So he walks up to it, and the piece of paper is written in Slavic. And the paper says that it's from a scribe named Vendithus. And he's been waiting a long time for adventurers to come to this dungeon because he needs them to go on a quest. He promises them 500 gold if they go through the portal and they find a magic stone which is located at some ruins 20 miles north of where the portal will bring them. So after he reads that, he puts the letter in his pocket and a portal opens up. Rest of the party moves forward, and he discusses the letter with them and asks them if they want to go on the adventure to find this magic stone. And no one seems to know what this magic stone is, but they like the money that they've been offered, so they're going to go on the adventure. And here ends our adventure for today. Hopefully have another episode next week. Have a good weekend.